If you've ever stared at an IELTS reading question and just felt your brain tie itself into a knot, well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we are going to crack one of the trickiest codes in the entire exam, the dreaded true, false, or not given question. Let's dive right in. This is the one, isn't it? The one that causes so much trouble. True seems simple enough. False? Okay, it's the opposite. But not given? What does that even mean? Sometimes it feels like it's designed specifically to make you second-guess everything. But I promise you, it's not a trick. It's just a test of precision. And by the end of this, you're going to have the master key. So, let's start with the absolute foundation, the 3 golden rules. Seriously, once you truly get the core difference between these 3 options, everything else just clicks into place. First up, true. Now, this seems pretty straightforward, right? The information in the question matches the passage. But here's the really crucial detail. The test will almost always use different words. It's all about synonyms and paraphrasing. So your job isn't to match words, it's to match the meaning. Next, we've got false. Now listen closely. For a statement to be false, it can't just be a little bit different. The passage has to say the direct opposite. It needs to be a clear, undeniable contradiction. If the passage says the car is blue, a false statement would say the car is red. There's no gray area. And here it is, the one that trips everyone up. Not given. This means the information is just completely, 100% absent. Let's go back to our blue car. If the passage says the car is blue, a not given statement might be the car is fast. Well, is it fast? We have no idea. The text never mentions speed, so we can't prove it's fast, and we can't prove it's slow. The information is simply not there. This right here, this is the whole game. For an answer to be false, there has to be contradicting information right there in the text. But for it to be not given, there's just nothing, a complete absence of information. Mastering this one difference is the real key. Let's see it in action with a super simple example. All right, let's make this crystal clear. Imagine our reading passage is just one simple sentence. The library opens at 9 a.m. every Monday. That's it. That is our entire universe of facts. Now, let's test a few statements against it. First up, a true statement. The library opens at 9 a.m. on Mondays. Does it match our text? Yes. The meaning is identical. It's a perfect match. That is a clear true. Easy enough. Okay, now what about a false statement? The library opens at 10 a.m. on Mondays. So why is this false? Because our text gives us the opening time. It's 9 a.m. This statement directly contradicts that fact. That's a solid false. And finally, our favorite, a not given statement. The library is very popular among students. Well, is it? Maybe. But the original sentence only tells us the opening time. It says nothing about popularity. Since we can't prove it's true, and we can't prove it's false from the text, the only possible answer is not given. Okay, so now we get the rules. But we need a system, right? A reliable process you can apply to every single one of these questions so you're not just guessing. So let's walk through your 4-step blueprint. Here it is, a simple 4-step process. Step 1, read the question statement first and underline the key words, names, dates, verbs, the important stuff. Step 2, scan the passage to find those keywords, or more likely, their synonyms. Step 3, once you've found the right spot, you have to carefully compare the meaning. And finally, step 4, decide. Does it match for true? Does it contradict for false? Or is the information just missing for not given? Okay, let's level up. The people who write these tests, they know these questions are tricky, and they actually set up predictable traps. But here's the cool part. Once you learn to spot these patterns, you can pretty much always avoid them. Let's break down the most common ones. Yeah, think of this as learning the test maker's playbook. They use specific types of words and phrasing just to see if you're really paying close attention to the details. The number one trap to watch for is extreme words. These are words that claim something is 100% true or 0% true. Words like all, never, or impossible. Academic texts rarely make such absolute claims. So if you see one of these in a statement, a little alarm bell should go off in your head. The answer is very, very likely to be false or not given. Now, on the flip side, we have qualifying words. Words like some, often, or generally. Now, texts are much more likely to use this kind of nuanced language, but you've still got to be careful. A statement that says most students is completely different from a text that says some students. So, as always, the details really matter. The second major trap is paraphrasing. Remember what we said? The test almost never uses the exact same words from the passage in the question. It loves to use synonyms. This is where a strong vocabulary becomes your superpower. Knowing that increase can also mean rise, grow, or boost is absolutely essential. You're hunting for meaning. You're not just matching words. All right, we've got the rules, we've got the blueprint, and we know the common traps. Now it's time to put it all together and see how this whole system works with a real academic-style example.
So here's our example text. Student engagement in online classes was initially lower than traditional sessions. Okay, the key comparison here is pretty clear. Online engagement was lower than face-to-face.
And here is the statement we need to check against it. Engagement in online classes was higher than face-to-face. Okay, let's use our blueprint. We've identified the key words, higher than, we found the right sentence. Now let's compare. And here we go. This is the moment of truth. The statement claims that engagement was higher than. The passage explicitly says it was lower than. This isn't missing information. This is a direct clash, a total contradiction.
So the answer has to be false. It's a perfect example of a direct contradiction. See how the system works? It's not about magic or guessing. It's just about following a clear, logical process.
And that really brings us to the most important takeaway of all. Success in IELTS reading is not about reading fast. It is about reading smart. It's about reading with precision and a clear purpose, knowing exactly what you're looking for every single time. So that leaves us with a final thought. We just challenged the idea that reading faster is always better. What other study rules might actually be holding you back from your true potential? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.